Good morning, this is Sarah, your imperfect carnivore in the UK. I'm doing it on selfie mode, so this will be back to front, but you don't mind. What were the 10 reasons that I quit carnivore in my past? As you know, many of you do, long journey of never quite getting where I want to be. What were the 10 things that pushed me off that train and threw me into the tracks and just dragged me behind the train? What were those 10 things? If you want to hear a professional talk about this, he's going to say exactly the same things, but if you want to hear it from someone who has come out the other side, check the link in my description. Mitch, he's my new best friend at the channel Old Guy Carnivore. It's actually a big channel. How I haven't heard about this guy before, I don't know. But for inspirational stories, check out Dave Mack on No Carb Life, or if you want motivational and how to get started, Mitch from Old Guy Carnivore is, and that does mean people that have done it lots of times as well. You could be brand new to carnivore, or you could be someone that's like me, started and then stumbled. Those tips and his channel are going to be gold for you. I'm going to run through them really, really quickly because I've already done this video once today and it didn't go well. So I am going to keep it super, super swift and tell you all the reasons why I quit carnivore, okay? Having expectations that are too high. We've all seen that comment. We've all seen that video. I lost 50 pounds in 2 minutes. Look at me. I did carnivore for the first time. I'm never going back, and I lost all the weight I wanted to within the first 3 months, and I've kept it off, and I've got all these health benefits and do. So we come along thinking that's going to happen to us. That's going to happen to me. And then, of course, it doesn't. You're on day 4. You're feeling like crap. You've got diarrhea. You get on the scales. You've gained 2 pounds. Why is this not happening to me? Why am I the oddball? Why doesn't it happen to me? Just take those expectations away. Concentrate on killing your addiction and not worrying about expectations. Another reason for falling off the scales, and I think this is a big one, there's a group of people that will lose weight straight away, but there's also a group that don't. And I believe, whoever you are, get rid of the scales. Number 2, get rid of the scales. Don't get on there at all. What you weigh is none of your business. It is possible in the first 2 months of just eating through those cravings, you may even gain weight. You might do, but overall, later on, it will all sort itself out. But seeing that is just demoralizing. We've all got on the scales, gained 2 pounds, got in the shower, in a strop. I've gained weight, but then there, trying to ride through it. By about 3 p.m, you've fallen into the carb ditch. We've done it. Get rid of the scales, because that's what made me fall off the wagon many, many times. Number 3, another thing that would have made me quit and has made me quit, worrying about measuring, worrying about restricting, trying to do fasting too early. All of those things can be worried about way into the future. Not now, not in the first 30 days, not even in the first 90 days. Those things should not be worried about. All you've got to worry about is eating your meat, and do not worry about all the other stuff and the fluff and the noise. Number 4, making sure that you eat to your hunger. Eat. To get through that carb craving withdrawal, to fix your carb addiction, the only way through it is to eat through it. Now, it's not that I've restricted myself on purpose, but there have been times when I haven't cooked enough. I've thought that maybe 2 or 3 burger patties was going to cut it, but perhaps 4 or 5 was more realistic. Then I was hungry 2 hours later, and then I wanted the cheese, and then I wanted the pork rinds. Eat first time round to satiation every time. Number 5, cravings. You will have cravings in your first week, and they're sometimes really bad. And I have discovered that if you don't pander to that, it's going to overtake you. So one of the reasons I've fallen off the wagon in the past is not pandering to those cravings, not pandering to that hunger. Just do it. Make sure that you keep the cravings and the hunger at bay with loads of meat, and then you're much less likely to fall off the train. Another thing, talking about it too much and pandering to other people. I added the pandering bit on. I don't think that Mitch mentioned pandering to other people. But number 1, he said, don't talk to other people about it. Don't talk to your doctor. Don't talk to anyone. Don't expect anyone is going to turn around and say, oh, that's amazing you're doing the carnivore diet. I'm so excited for you. You might find a person in the world that will say that, but most won't. Most will tell you you're crazy. And if you are not completely confident in yourself that it's going to work for you or that it's safe, you're going to stop because you're worried about what the doctor said or your friend said or Bill down in the pub said what he said. Just stay true and just be confident. And the other thing I was going to say about number 6 is the pandering. Don't pander to other people's social expectations. Don't let people bog you down. A good example for me was I left my job in the summer and somebody insisted on making me a cake. And I said, look, I'm trying to be super healthy at the moment. I've just got back on the carnivore train. I really don't want to stop. She went on and on and on at me. And in the end, I gave in and I had it. But it did send me off the track until 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So how long did that take me to get back? I had that thing that I had at the end of April, and we're now talking about not getting back onto the train until the end of July. It's 3 months. 3 months of being derailed because I pandered to the social expectation and trying not to upset other people. I've seen comments this morning of people saying I fell off the train because someone had arranged something for me and I didn't want to be rude. He actually gained, this comment, it's a random comment. He gained about 63 pounds as a result of not wanting to be rude at an event. I've recently had 3 months off the train for not wanting to be rude to this person that wanted to give me a cake for my resignation gift. So try not to talk to other people about it, and definitely don't pander, because that is what's made me quit carnivore, and I will not let it happen again. It won't. Another thing, cleaning up the environment. I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of having cupboards in the kitchen with stuff in. Okay, we do live with, if you are like me and you live with carb addicts, that's difficult, but you can have a cupboard that is designated just for them, but make sure that those carb addicts fill it up themselves and empty it themselves and monitor it themselves, and don't expect you to be looking in there a few times a week just to see what they've got and make sure they've got enough. If they've run out, good. It'd be good for them and it'd be good for you. Don't worry about making sure it's topped up. That's their responsibility. And if they want more things in there, they can discreetly ask you nicely when you're in a good mood, or they can buy it themselves. Also, not taking enough time to have plenty of sodium and fat. To get rid of those cravings in those first month, ton of fat and get plenty of real good quality salt. I've been guilty in the past of not having much salt because it might make the scales go up the next day. When I next weigh myself, if I've had a lot of salt, I might weigh more because I might have some water retention, so I better not have too much salt. Salt and fat kills cravings. Protein, fat, salt kills cravings. Make sure you're getting all of those. So get the scale out the way and just have what you need until that addiction is gone. And also, when I say cleaning up the environment, for me personally, you may not be able to do this, but my old job was causing me grief in my journey. I was working in a classroom that was very close to a staff room that was constantly full of junk. I have now changed my job. I have moved to a different school, and I've moved to the nursery part of the school where it is miles away from the staff room. In fact, the staff room is in a different building. I won't be going in there. I've been in there twice maximum since I've started there, and both times there was loads of treats in there, both times. So I thought, this isn't somewhere I'm going to go. Luckily, it's not somewhere I can go. It's quite a long walk from where I am, so I can't just suddenly leave the room and say, well, I'm just going to go over to the staff room and see what cake's in there. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to fit in with my new environment. I also think that my 2 new team members that I'm working with are not going to provide treats, which is good. We went in a couple of days ago to sort out the classroom, and I was really worried they were going to bring in some treats while we were working, and they didn't, and this is good. So clean up your environment, whatever that looks like. Yeah, so we've got have I middled them around somewhere? Yeah, cleaning up environment, fat and sodium, same thing. Number 9. Well, it's not the same thing, is it? Watch Mitch's video. It's so much better than this. Number 9, not eating, making sure that you always eat to satiety and stuff. Now, I've said this on number 4. It's a bit of a similar thing round the other way. Make sure you eat enough. Make sure that when you've eaten that last bite of food, you are really, really, really full and could not imagine eating literally anything else. They call it the Thanksgiving full feeling for a reason. You know, I mean, we don't have Thanksgiving in the UK, but we obviously have Christmas, and it's the same thing. The idea that you've eaten so much food that literally any other food looks disgusting. And then you'll win. I've done this before. I've not eaten enough. Not on purpose, just didn't plan enough, did not get organised. And the final one that Mitch talked about, number 10, not eating to the clock. This is so important. The amount of times that I've fallen off the wagon because I'm pandering to, it doesn't help that I work certain hours, which means, you know, I'm going to have to really, really think about how I'm going to manage my working environment in the timing point of view, because we shouldn't be eating to the clock anymore. Carnivores in the wild don't eat to the clock. A lion doesn't have a clock next to it, so reminding it when to eat. It knows when to eat. It eats when it's hungry. Then it stops. Then it has a sleep and licks itself a bit and thinks, you know, may eat again at some point in the next week. Might not. Might see an antelope for a snack. There's no time. So Mitch recommends putting your clock where your scales are, ideally in the bin, and just existing. But for the first 30 days, keep your expectations sensible. Lose the scales. Don't do any measuring, restricting or fasting in the early days for as long as possible, and preferably never. Make sure that when you're hungry, you eat. Pander to your cravings. Don't chat to other people and pander to their expectations. You can pander to your hunger and your cravings, but not to other people's social expectations. Sarah, you know you're guilty of this. It happened this year. The last time I quit carnivore, it was for that. Not wanting to be rude or upset other people. You did it. We've all done it. Cleaning up your life environment and your work environment. Making sure you get your plenty of protein, fat and sodium. Making sure that you always eat until you are completely and utterly stuffed, and not eating to the clock. All of those 10 things were what Mitch talked about, and all of those 10 things I have fallen off and quit carnivore for. All of those 10 things. They're not in order of importance. They're just the things he rattled off, whatever you want to say. But this video's gone longer than 10 minutes. I was hoping to go for 10, but I think it's important. Check his video in the description. I really, really recommend his channel. I recommend Dave Mack for the inspiration, and I recommend Mitch at Old Guy Carnivore. He's 2 years carnivore, but he did years and years and years of keto. Found carnivore and is now settled down in his 70s. Love him. I'm hoping that I can get there before that. I'm hoping that I can be like him before I'm 70, and I think I'm going to. And if I make sure I follow those 10 rules for not falling off the wagon, I will never be able to say I quit carnivore again. So have an amazing day. Eat your meat, drink your water, and just thrive. Take care, guys. Bye.